Hey everybody! So you're excited and ready to start serving clients, or maybe you've already been serving copywriting clients and suddenly it hits you. Am I doing what I need to do in order to protect my business? Now that's a totally valid concern. I'm not a lawyer, so disclaimer, you should always consult with a lawyer for expert legal advice. But what I can do is I can share with you what I've used in my own multiple six-figure a year freelance copywriting business to help make sure that my clients and myself and my business and my employees are protected. And so that's what we're going to talk about in this video. If you're a freelance copywriter who's just getting started, or you have never thought about this type of issue before, you're going to want to watch this video so that you can learn the absolute must-haves to include in your contracts. And don't worry, it's maybe more simple than you think. Plus, I'm going to throw in the one tiny detail that many people forget that can really benefit your business in the long term. So let's go ahead and jump in and talk about this. Let me know in the comments below. What do you use for a contract? Do you have contracts? If you don't, it's definitely time to start thinking about it. So the first time you think about, do I have what I need to protect my freelance copywriting business? It might feel like a little bit of a lump in your stomach, okay? It's a totally valid question, and I asked myself the same thing when I was just getting started. So when you're a service-based copywriting freelancer, you're potentially going to be dealing with contracts that are worth thousands of dollars, and you want to make sure that your time and your effort is compensated well. You also want to make sure that everybody on both ends know exactly what to expect, and that's really going to help you all be able to work best together. And maybe you're wondering, do I need to worry about things like getting ghosted on payments? What do I do? How do I protect myself from having a client hold out on an invoice? What do I even have as options here? Now, all of these things can be addressed by having a contract with clear terms and conditions. But like I said, it's not necessarily as complicated as it might sound. So today, let's talk about the things that are must-haves for your client contracts so you can make sure that you and your client are protected every single time you work on a project together. So the number one first thing I always make sure to include in a contract is probably not what you would think, but I include a personal note. I like my clients to know that I care about them and their business and their project. So I put a little summary of what we talked about on the discovery call and a short description of why I'm including certain pieces in their deliverables. This really helps them feel like more than just a transaction, but more like a partner in the work that we're going to be doing together. And they really, really appreciate having this personal touch and this personal outreach. The second thing I include in the contract is a list of the deliverables, the actual projects I'm going to be doing for them. I outline the exact pieces of copy they'll be getting and what each one will cost. I'm pretty detailed about it because I want a record of what they signed off on. So if there are any questions later on, like, oh, hey, didn't you say I was going to get some ad copy for this too? There's a place we can both go to verify what was agreed on by both parties. This helps cut down on misunderstandings and prevent scope creep, which can be a major budget and time killer for you. I really want to help you avoid that, so make sure that's in there. Next up are the payment terms. So I clearly outline not only how much I'm charging, but exactly how they can pay their invoice, and for larger projects, how many installments they'll have and when those installments will be due. I also clearly state that work will not start until their deposit is paid. I've been burned by this before. And if they're paying on installments, I let them know work will halt if an installment is unpaid. That's just protecting me, my business, and my employees. And I actually provide a link in the contract itself to the invoice. They can click it and immediately go and pay, because the more confusing and complicated it is for your client to pay, the more issues you're going to have getting paid. And we want to avoid that, right? Now, just a little side note on getting paid. You never ever have to feel guilty about asking to be paid. You're running a business, and this is a business transaction. So the more you can disconnect your emotions from the money side of it, the easier it's going to be to view invoicing as just another business practice that you do as a matter of course. The next thing I include in my contracts are the terms and conditions. There's a couple of different things I cover in this part of the contract. I'm going to go over all of them, and then I'm going to give you that one little tweak I've made to my contracts, each and every one, that really can help anyone boost their business. I love this little tweak. It's super fun. But first things first, The first thing I include in my terms and conditions is a notice that any and all work my writers or I do belongs to the client upon completion and upon payment. I feel very strongly in my business that I'm providing a service for them. Just as if I was making and selling a physical item to them, when that transaction occurs, it's theirs, right? They can feel free to use this copy however they wish for their own business promotion, okay? Next is the privacy statement. I want my clients to know I'm not going to be sharing any proprietary information about their business, about their company, about their employees, about their income, about their IP, about their strategies, about their marketing, none of that. I want them to know that they can trust me and my writers and not have to worry about their information ending up in places where it shouldn't be. It's super important. And one more little thing I include, and I highly recommend you do this too, because it's going to save you a lot of time and headaches to follow up on it later. I state that although the deliverables are theirs, I reserve the right to use pre-approved results and testimonials based on the work. I love this one because now they know that I'm going to be keeping track of how things do. I'm going to be invested in the long-term results, and it comes in super handy when I want to promote my services or talk about the results I've been able to get. With their signature on the contract, they know that you're going to be checking in on results and that you're going to want to use them as testimonials. It's not a surprise to them when you ask, and you're going to be able to get approval on testimonials faster that way because they've already agreed to it. And of course, the testimonials can be anonymous. You don't have to mention names if they're not comfortable with that. Now, this might surprise you, but that's pretty much it. I use a pretty simple contract. It's not full of a lot of legal jargon. It's just clear and straightforward. And so far in my business, that's been all that I've needed. So clients tend to like my contract so much that most of the time they don't even send one of their own back. If they do, I'm more than happy to review it and sign it when everything's in order. Now, you might think that you don't need a contract. Oh, my business isn't big enough yet. My clients have never asked for one. Well, that's kind of true. Sometimes freelance copywriters make the mistake of thinking that they don't need a contract, but the truth is, when you need one and you don't have one, it's already too late. So yeah, actually it's not true. You do need a contract. You don't need one until you need one, and then it's too late, right? So make sure you have at least a simple contract now so you don't live with regret in the future because you didn't have anything. And make sure to consult with your lawyers if you feel like you need something more formal. There's definitely long and drawn out contracts out there that you could use as well. Now, if trying to come up with contracts and proposals and invoices and all the documents that it takes to run a freelance copywriting business sounds overwhelming and confusing and time consuming to you, then you might want to check out my Wordy Mama Copywriting Academy program. Inside WMCA, you'll find every contract, every proposal, every invoice, template, swipe file, pretty much anything you would ever need to run a freelance copywriting business. It's all been packaged into this program, complete with trainings for each and every system I use inside my business and homework and learning exercises so that any freelance copywriting mom can plug it into their business and get to profits faster. And right now, I have a free masterclass where I explain the 3-step formula that's inside WMCA called the Wordy Mama Freedom Formula. It's the thing that makes it work. It's my 3-step framework to making money online as a freelance copywriter without having to rely on freelancer job sites or cold outreach. Inside this masterclass, I also break down the 3 massive mistakes I see freelance copywriting moms make and how to avoid them. So if you want to watch this free masterclass, you can watch it and choose the time that works best for you. Just click the link in the comments below or visit my bio on TikTok, IG, or YouTube at Christa Nichols Copy to watch that free masterclass now. And remember, it's important to have something that protects you, your business, and your clients. It doesn't take that long to create a contract. And if you ever run into any issues, you'll be glad you have one, even if right now it doesn't seem like you need it. Have a great night, everybody.